Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, we are going to be breaking down the 5 best sports card investments right now, in my personal opinion, that are under $10. Now, before we get into that, I did want to say a little bit about our membership program because I've been getting a lot of messages on how one can join in on the program. Now, at the moment, we are not accepting new members. But we will soon be accepting new members. So if you do want to stay updated, all you have to do is follow our Instagram at SportsCardInvest or head to our website, sportscardsinvest.com. And sooner or later, we will be opening up a few more spots. We do want to keep the membership a little bit tight just so that the methods that we teach actually properly work for the people who are in our program. But we will definitely keep you guys updated. But without further ado, we are hopping right into this first pick, and that is going to be James Harden and his 2009 Topps rookie card. Now, first of all, in 2009, the pop counts were extremely low. It is quite tough to find James Harden rookie cards. Now, even his Topps base has a pretty low population report. You can get these ungraded for above $10, but not too much above $10. And I still wanted to include it in this video. So as you guys can see right here, James Harden's Topps ungraded rookie cards are selling for between $10 and $20 ungraded, depending on the condition, of course. I would definitely recommend paying the extra money to buy one that is in better gradable condition, just because it will be a lot easier to sell when the time comes to sell. Or if you do want to grade, you have a potential ROI with grading. There are some copies that are a lot cleaner that are selling for closer to 30 to 40 bucks. I would personally recommend going for cleaner copies. However, I totally understand, people on a budget who actually want a card for under $10, you could probably find a Harden Topps around that price. Now, a few reasons for this. First of all, the Sixers have been playing incredible. I think leading up to this postseason, there's going to be a lot of attention around Harden and Embiid and how far they can actually make it in the West, or in the East, I'm sorry. But yeah, I think overall, all attention is away from Harden's cards. He hasn't really been in the spotlight, since his Houston days. I would say he hasn't really been in the spotlight and looked at as a top 5 player in the NBA like he was before. I think he is going to eventually find his true role in Philly. It may not be scoring quite as much as he was in Houston, but I do believe that his role is going to continue to increase, and he's going to continue to find his role in Philadelphia. And I just think it's an overall incredible value buy. If you just look at the prices of other comparables in this league, you will definitely be able to see that Harden's prices are extremely lower. And given the low pop counts, an increase in demand in the playoffs, if the Sixers are able to make a deep run, would cause his prices to really increase. So without further ado, we're going to hop right into our next pick, and that is going to be Donovan Mitchell. I believe Donovan Mitchell's 2017 Optic rookie card is a very good buy right now. Now, Donovan Mitchell is trying to make the leap from a star to a superstar. And where stars can turn into superstars is in the playoffs. And I think with the Cavs this playoffs, there's going to be a little bit more of a chance, I would say, than he had in Utah. And I think if the Cavs can put together a strong postseason run, we're going to see a lot of money being invested into Donovan Mitchell's, card market in general. And of course, Donovan Mitchell does have, he shows up when his team needs him the most. He's a playoff performer. We've seen this in the NBA bubble when he was dropping 40, 50 points versus Jamal Murray in that series. So I definitely believe this card has a lot of upside. And I think the lower end market for Mitchell is really going to pick up, just because I think a lot more investors are going to be willing to invest in Donovan Mitchell after this season. He's already had some incredible games this year. He's had an incredible season. He's starting to make more noise in Cleveland than he was in Utah. And I think there's just overall a lot more excitement about the Cavs than he ever had about the Utah Jazz. So I definitely believe this is a very good investment right now. Now, without further ado, we're going to hop right into our next pick, and that is going to be Jaren Jackson Jr.'s Prism Red, White, Blue rookie card. So as you guys know, the Grizzlies are contenders in the West now. I think a lot of people have started to accept that. The Grizzlies are a team to watch out for in the West. They had a great run last year. Of course, they ran into the Warriors and couldn't quite get there. But this is likely going to be Jaren Jackson's, hopefully, the start of a healthy career of his. He's had a very tough time in the beginning of his career staying healthy, and, you know, being able to consistently put together great, consistent performances. But he continues to improve. He's having some amazing games recently. And I think the attention is shifting towards the Grizzlies in the West. There's a lot of, you know, question marks around the Warriors, the Lakers, all these other teams. And I think the Grizzlies and Nuggets are going to be heading into the playoffs with a pretty good chance this year. So I do definitely believe that Jaren Jackson Jr. being the second option for the Grizzlies, you know, and he is a scorer, right? He's not just a big man who can, you know, just have blocks, right? More of a defensive player. However, he's got a great amount of offensive talent. He kind of moves like, you know, a guard in some ways, right? He kind of reminds me a little bit of Kevin Durant in terms of like his scoring ability, and just his length, right? So I think this is definitely a good investment right now. And I think the Grizzlies are going to make noise. Jaren Jackson's going to be in the spotlight at some point. And I think his cards are just way, way, way too cheap right now. So I would personally go after his red, white, blue. It's an affordable option, but it has a much lower pop count than his base prisms. So I think it's a good price, good investment right now. And I think it's got a lot of potential. So without further ado, we are going to hop right into our next pick, and that is going to be another sleeper in the West, in my personal opinion. You guys have already seen on this channel, I've been pretty big on Kawhi. He did have a very rough start to the season where he just wasn't able to play, you know, in back-to-backs, and I think he's still kind of, you know, getting into his groove, but we are seeing a lot of upside in the Los Angeles Clippers right now. Kawhi's been able to string together, you know, 8 to 9 straight great performances. And the Clippers have been winning. They had won 5 in a row before Kawhi and Paul George rested the back-to-back. So I think Kawhi is definitely on the move. In terms of, you know, the Clippers making noise this season. A lot of attention's coming back to Kawhi right now, I'm noticing. So I just think, you know, all attention has been away from Kawhi for so long. And when he's playing healthy, he looks like a top 5 player in the league again. And if he can truly get back to that form, I think these cards are going to absolutely skyrocket. And if you look at the pop counts on these cards, they're extremely low. And in 2012, there were not many sets, right? Like, he doesn't have an optic rookie card. He doesn't have a select base rookie card. He doesn't have mosaic, all these different sets that have recently dropped. It's pretty much higher end investors are going to go for his Prism cards and his National Treasures cards, and lower end investors are going to go for his Hoops cards. So if you want to invest in his Hoops cards, I definitely see good upside. But without further ado, we are going to hop right into our next pick, and that is going to be De'Aaron Fox and his Prism rookie cards. So as you guys know, De'Aaron Fox and the Kings have been having an incredible season. The Kings are finally able to put together some wins. They're currently sitting at the 3rd seed as of when I'm recording this video. And I think that the lower end market for Fox, the herd of investors, are going to come towards Fox's market. And I think the whole lower end will bump up. I don't think you'll be able to get graded optic rookies of Fox for under $10 for much longer. He's a star just like many other young stars that prices are, you know, 10x, right? I think there's a lot of upside right now in getting into De'Aaron Fox's market. If the Kings are by any chance able to win a playoff series, or just if Fox goes off in the playoffs, we're going to see a lot of these cards go crazy. And the upside here is just huge compared to the limited amount of downside. If you look at a De'Aaron Fox Optic Hollow PSA 9, it's $13. If we want to look at a Luka Doncic Optic Hollow PSA 9, of course, not comparing the players by any means, just showing that other young stars who are, you know, levels ahead of him, their prices are well above that. So we're going to go ahead and try to find one. You guys can see they're about 300 to 400. Some are selling as much as 500. But this card right here is $13 for De'Aaron Fox. So you guys can just see, even if he can get to a Trae Young level, which I definitely think is feasible for De'Aaron Fox. He's a fun-to-watch player. He's a young star. He's on a team that's starting to win. I think it's really there's a good chance that he can get to a Trae Young price level, you know, if he can show out in the playoffs. So I think the upside is just there, and the downside is really limited. But yeah, that's been it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Once again, follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 50,000 subscribers. Other than that, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'm out. Peace.